Hello and welcome to another day on Cornwall Pocket Farm, where I'm trying to figure out how to live sustainably on 300 square metres in the city. What are we doing today? Well, it's a bit overcast, which could be quite good for the filming, to be honest. So I think it's only about, it's about 26 degrees, but it's so humid. So yeah, it's going to be quite an effort out there today, but all good. It's not raining and the wind's dropped. So today I'm just really taking you along just to show you what I'm doing actually. This is a standard sort of gardening day. People always ask me how much time I spend in the garden, and I would say that probably I spend maybe a day a week. So there's not a lot of work, and I would have to say that is one of the big upsides of having a small garden, a small farm like we have, is that it's totally manageable. You know, if you worked full time like I did at the beginning and just could dedicate some time on the weekend, that would still be ample time to manage a farm of this size, a pocket farm. Obviously big jobs, like if I'm building something, we tend to do that at the weekends. My daughter comes over and we get on the tools and build whatever we're doing. So the project work generally will happen at the weekend. I should just prep what we're going to do today. I will clean the chickens out, so do a full clean of the chickens, refill their food, refill their water. So I need to clear London and plant the courgettes. So I'll put some big metal stakes, we call them waratahs here, big metal stakes in the ground, and I'll plant the courgettes at the bottom of those stakes. And then as the courgettes grow, I'll train them upwards and tie them onto this stake. And that way they grow up a little bit like a palm tree, to be honest. And then you've got room underneath, so I can plant more stuff underneath. The grapevine needs a little bit of a trim and maybe a train. So that's pretty much what I've got on my list today. As per usual, I probably won't do all that. Gonna need some bigger loppers. That's better. That was pretty quick. And then that all just gets chopped up and put on the compost heap. Are you hard at work? Have you started yet? Have you? And then the girls basically pick through it, eat what they fancy, kick it about a bit, and then it rots down into some fabulous compost, and in amazingly quick time actually, which is yeah, I've been flabbergasted by how quickly that big pile will actually convert into something rich and crumbly that's good for the garden. Are you having a break? Having a scratch break? Fair enough too. This is my slug chug, which I've had in the garden to gather snails and slugs, to try and clear this area of slugs as much as I can before I put my seedlings in. I've caught quite a few. Ew, yuck. Okay, so they're in. They need to be really sturdy because the courgette plants, when they grow big, they're very heavy. So it's good to get them in when the ground is still quite moist. Because in the summer, when it gets really hot, these posts won't go in. The other thing I need are my, these are old milk bottles, and I just basically cut the bottoms off them, and then I sink those in with the courgettes put a stake in them to stop them blowing away, and then I can water down to the roots of the courgette through this. So that makes it really easy. The other thing I will do, you see there's 2 little seedlings in each of these pots. I will plant them as they are, and hopefully they can get a little bit established. And once they've started to get established and I see which one is doing best, then I just snip out at the ground level the one I don't want. That means that I've got redundancy in case the slugs actually attack these seedlings. I did that last year and it worked well. I lost one, but I still had a spare, so I'm going to do that again. I want to direct this bottle towards the path so that when I walk into the path I can still pour water into here quite easily. This also means that if it gets a bit busy down below, I'm going to underplant with a bunch of other crops, and if it gets a bit busy underneath, I can still find my bottles to add the water to the courgettes. And then of course a good water. I'm also going to plant out these aubergines. These aubergines were last year's aubergines that I grew in the conservatory, and they gave me fruit last year, but they're looking quite sad. They are alive, which is a miracle because they overwintered. They're looking quite sad now. They had a bit of red spider mite in the conservatory, so this one is trying to flower, and a couple of them have tried to flower this year already, and I thought it's time that they go in the ground, I thought. And this sad little specimen, this unfortunately is what remains of George, my transatlantic melon challenge. She's looking very sad. She's tried so hard. I'm going to put her in the ground and let nature take its course. Most likely she will be eaten by slugs, but there's a slim chance that she'll find freedom and romp away. Anyway, I'll plant the rest of these plants and I'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, so as you can see, they're all in now. I planted some onions through the bed just to mix things up a little bit, and now I've got some soybeans. So I'm going to put soybeans in between the onions, and basically to sort of cover the bed, ground cover almost for the bed. Do. So the other thing I'm going to do is just sprinkle a few flower seeds around. I generally do that and let nature take its course. They're very cheap seeds, so I just sprinkle them around and then let it all get on with it, basically.
Now a really critical part is to cover it up purely to keep the birds off it, because I've now watered it in. As soon as I walk away, those blackbirds will be in here digging up everything I've just planted. So I need to cover it with some of this, just really until, yeah, sort of got established really, and I can see some things coming up. So it just gives it a little bit of protection. I've learnt this after a lot of trial and error and having my seedlings pulled up and scattered all over the garden. The other thing I do is I put pebbles around the base. If I'm only planting one or two things, I'll just put these big pebbles around the base, and that stops the birds digging it up as well. These sort of little magic stone circles that I sometimes talk about. So at the moment I'm trying to encourage this grapevine to go along the pergola. I'm trying to get it to go as far as it can and get as much coverage as it can. I don't want it putting energy into side shoots and flowers and fruit at the moment, because the main purpose of this grapevine all the way along the front of the house is to provide shade in summer. We'll look at grapes later on. That would be nice. It's obviously a very pleasant and tasty side treat to it, but the primary purpose of this grapevine is to provide shade, and I want it to grow that away as much as it can.
Woo! It's warm out there today. Yes, Maggie, we'll go for a walk very soon. We will. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. I never do. Do have a list behind me, but it's usually pretty out of date. I should make more use of it. It would be helpful, wouldn't it, to write on the board what I was going to do and then actually do it. I did do a separate chicken coop video, and you may have already seen it. It may have been before this one, or it might be after this one. I'm not really sure, because I'm just getting the footage at the moment. If you want to hear more about how I am trying to figure out a sustainable life on 300 square meters in the city, then please subscribe. This way? Or is it this way? I don't know. It's down there somewhere. Down below. There's a red subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know if anything that I'm sharing on my YouTube videos is being of use to anybody or inspiring anybody to give some things a go. So yeah, bye bye for now, and look forward to seeing you next time. Want to go for a walk now? Walk? Want to go for a walk? Yes, we really want to go for a walk. I mean, we do. Okay, let's go then.